Good morning, friends of Divine Journey. Welcome to our program. Today we had Michele Vicenti, and he has an special information about leadership. He's a doctor, a master's degree in marketing, business, and leadership. So please come and enjoy with us this program. He will talk about his special mentoring life. Really unique program. Please be part of this experience here in Divine Journey with your friend, Judith Castillo. Good morning, friends of Divine Journey. Welcome to this program. Today is a delicious and good morning with coffee and a special guest, Michele Vicenti. Thank you for being with us.
Oh, thank you very much, Judith, for inviting me.
It is a pleasure to have you here. You are an amazing leader, and I had a special connection because you love to teach, and it's one of my passions.
Thank you very much, Judith. And again, before we start, I want to definitely congratulate you for the new program.
Thank you.
I know you from before, and I know that you're going to be successfully, and your audience is very lucky for having you.
Thank you, Michele.
You're very welcome.
I am really passionate in sharing what is that people is doing every day in their lives to create that difference.
Okay.
And empower others.
Mm-hmm.
And that was an inspiration that I had doing my second book,
Mm-hmm.
Divine Journey. And for that reason, we are sharing today with all the families and all our friends out there
Yes.
about your experience.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to listen. I know you are a really talented, intelligent man. It was a master's degree. You are teaching around hundreds of universities, and you're a great speaker, but I feel so humble.
Thank you very
here.
much. I will definitely buy you the coffee after you're saying a so wonderful thing about me. And yes, as you said, I have my doctorate degree is in leadership. I got that one a few years ago in the United States, and then a couple of masters and a few professional certifications. But more important, beside the titles and the degrees, is, as you said, my passion for teaching. And I think you can understand when I say that teaching is not only the sharing the knowledge with people, but is also being an educator. Yeah. Try to help also people in their life, everyday life. Because, of course, knowing some concept and then not practicing or, just preaching and not implementing,
Yes.
what you preach, in my opinion, has no value. So just an example about this, if I may. The other day I was chairing an international trade meeting in town at another university. And we invited a few employers talking about what they are looking for people when they hire people, and how to write a resume or a CV. And I was very impressed by this employer. By the way, he's also a friend of mine, saying that he is looking for people that he can trust. People he can trust, and people that come on time and do things on time. So I was very pleased because then my student at that time, they had a few of them attending the meeting, understanding why I was asking them to be on time when they deliver their assignment.
Yes.
You see, and sometimes there is this kind of disconnection in school, unfortunately. And I was pleased because I'm very reinforced when I'm in class telling, students, look outside, that's what the expectations are. So you can know your subject, but then if you are behaving in a way that you are not part of the team, you're going to have a problem
Yes.
in finding employment.
It's important talking about leadership.
Yes.
What are the skills that new employers are looking in the new generations about leadership?
Absolutely, actually, this is a very sensitive topic if we want, because unfortunately, 75%, between 50 and 75% of managers, they are called incompetent for some reasons, and we are having a problem in leadership around the world. It seems that we talk a lot about leadership, but all the latest interviews and the research with companies around the world saying that they're having troubles in finding leaders in their organizations. So many reasons for this. I think most of the responsibility is from the organizations. They are not doing the right job training, in terms of leadership development, identifying the right people to be a leader. And the reason is also sometimes, the researcher says that when they interview people, that is, you can see only a part of the person you are interviewing.
Yes.
Then, in the real life, they can be different person, and that different person might not be the right leader. So being a leader doesn't mean that you have to be the leader with the capital L, kind of Gandhi or Churchill or any of, Obama or the big leaders. You can be a leader in a small sense, in your small community, in the family, in a group. And this very important. Leading means inspiring people to do what you think is right. And people will do because they believe in you, not because they have to. That's
that is
what
a
the
really
leadership.
Important statement. People will follow you as a leadership.
Yes.
Because they believe.
They believe in you. Actually, a quote from previous Secretary of State, General Colin Powell, when he was, and it's a quote I really like from, what he said. You are a leader when people follow you as a matter of curiosity.
Wow.
Because they trust you. You see
Yes.
what I mean? So the idea is the trust. And I always show that, a 30-second video when, he was asked about the question, because I really believe it's all about trust. And people trust, identify themselves and what you believe. It becomes what they believe. And both, you can achieve a wonderful goals.
And your experience being a teacher.
Yes.
And having hundreds of students around the world.
Yes.
Tell me one of your intimate experience and towards creating a leader in a field, and a nice experience that you wanted maybe to help that to somebody that is looking out there and say, yes, I am ready to be that leader in my family, in my community, for my country, in my company.
Well, first of all, again, to the audience, I want to say, first of all, that leaders are not born. And this is a very, very important concept. And maybe a few years ago, people would think that there is something in the genes or something, divine that makes you a leader. That is absolutely incorrect. Yes, there are a few traits, if you want, they are linked to genetic, but that is a very small percentage. Everything else about leadership can be learned. And you see, we call the situational leadership where people, normal people, if you want, call themselves normal, in a specific circumstances, then they emerge as a leader. And the circumstances can be traumatic circumstances, for example, an accident, etc. And this person all of a sudden comes up from the crowd, and he or she take charge. So leading comes with, first of all, the understanding of your purpose. Is doing the right thing, whatever right thing for you is. And then when you can communicate, when you can inspire people, and actually I have a discussion with my student about motivating and inspiring. Only you can motivate yourself. So you can motivate yourself to do something. I can inspire you. And so this is the external environment, how important it is. And if I create the conditions as a leader around you, it's not necessarily that you're going to be a good person in a good environment, but that environment might have an effect on you. And when you decide to motivate yourself and agreeing on my right thing, then together again, we can do things to achieve what we said is right.
So, dear friends, there you go. You need to keep motivating yourself to inspire others and keep growing and helping your community, helping your company, your family. And it's really important what Michele Vicenti is sharing with us. Like leaders, we born with some skills, but we create and we learn bigger ones.
Exactly.
And we need to inspire others, and we need to create that everyday motivation in our lives to pass that message and communicate with all the people that we love and the people that we care. Michele, you are in an international trade.
Well, yes.
and it's a new changing and new policies.
Yes.
What is new for all the new generations there?
Well, again, I would say to the new generations, first of all, to be positive. I think we always had challenges. In the past, I remember when I was young, my dad was saying to me that my life was quite easy comparing it to his life.
Of course.
And I can see myself now sometimes thinking, but I'm trying not to make that mistake. And so I say that always been challenging. But what I say to people is the choices we have. I mean, in the universe, we always have two forces, the bad and the good. And doesn't matter how much bad is out there, there is exactly the same amount of good from the other side. So that's what you need to focus on.
Yes.
And you cannot, cancel the bad because it's going to be there. Doesn't matter what. Doesn't matter how much good we make. We're going to have exactly another force, which was invented. It's a quasi-stationary theory, to go in the thermodynamic and Newton. So this is a physical law of the universe, at least the one we know. Nothing religious. It's a science. And so, doesn't matter what, we're going to have a pushback from the bad people. Well, okay, let's have this challenge and let's create opportunities and good things happen. Of course, not many people talk about the good things. Sometimes they do not sell.
That is why we create this space for all the families and people that they wanted to listen about that possibility and that positive news and that great space that we had. Thousands of people around the world every day are making that positive choice.
Absolutely.
And they are focused on the right and positive things that they have in life, creating better space for others.
Yes, and it's contagious. Again, we don't talk about it, but it's there. I can see that.
That's why we're here.
Here you are.
That's why we're here. We need to create that space for all the people around and share with them that Michele Vicenti is teaching about leadership around the world. Even he has a doctor, a master, and he's in international trade. We need leaders. We need leaders that we can trust, leaders that are ready to create the positive choice every day and be strong and believe in themselves, keep motivated, and inspire others. When you were sharing that part, the person that came to my mind and in my heart was Terry Fox.
Yes, absolutely.
He
great man.
Was younger, and he suffered that encounter with pain. And what he did with his life was believe in himself, walk across Canada, and inspiring others.
You see, that is the purpose, is it right? That he had the purpose to make people aware about, unfortunately, what the cancer is, and it was raising money for a cause, to beat that, bad illness we have. And so him comes second. You see, that's what the leadership is all about. It's not being a manager when, you sit down, and that's what I say 75% unfortunately have a bad misconception about being a manager, manager is not sitting there and say, okay, judging you, you're good, bad, and then I fire you. I mean, it is your responsibility as a manager or a leader, to tell that person what he or she is doing well or what he or she is doing not correctly, providing an alternative, is it right? Training that person. And I would say that the majority of cases, people will understand that. And of course, yes, we have maybe bad employees or whatever, but the majority do maybe bad things because they do not know a different way. So your role as a manager, as a leader, is to coach and mentor that person, at the end. So it's a balance always between managing the relationship between you and the followers, if you want, or the employees, and also achieving result. Because at the end of the day, in our economy, we need to make money.
Yes.
But again, there is this balance, and it's possible having, sincerely, where you care about the person, and together, again, we achieve the result that we have in the company. And that's what you said that Terry Fox did. And so it's not about you as a leader or Terry Fox. It's my pain. My pain is a secondary. It's a secondary, is it right?
The cause.
This cause is bigger than myself.
Yes. So, dear friends, it's a pleasure to listen Michele today, enjoying this coffee. And of course, in our country, we say when we have a good connection and good conversation, next time we need to toast about it.
Of course.
We need to toast.
Yes, we need to toast. We need to
the
toast.
Toast for that good leaders that are out there today, making the right choice. And to you, my friend, listen about that word, mentorship. If you're ready to be that leader, be open to mentor others. But if you are in that searching and becoming a strong person and look for that inspiration or cause that you have for you and your life, look for a mentor.
Yes.
Because it's important to have more guide in your life more than yourself.
Absolutely.
So who is a good mentor for you? I know you love to read and you had a great quote there.
Well, when I look back, definitely I can think, my father, of course, it's sharing lots of good memories together and, teaching the values to all of us and the family. So I think that is, for me, has been a very good leader. The perfect or the top leader, when I have the same question, it doesn't exist because, again, as you said, everybody in your audience can be a leader. It is a leader, and maybe they do not realize, they are a leader. And again, echoing what you said, I want to say to all of you, to take the courage. I mean, you will be amazed when you have a good idea in your heart, how many people will follow you to doing things. So don't be afraid, to lead. That is also my mission. And again, yes, the leader with the capital L, as I said, that's perfect. But in life, it's like in business, 85% of the business in the world is about the small businesses. Only 15%.
Good that you mentioned that. Our hopes for all the business, small business that are out there, keeping our economy going around the world.
Yes. So you see, the same analogy for me is 85% they are maybe small leaders and they do maybe little things, but those little things all together, that's what moves the world.
Yes.
At the end. So that's my message. Don't discount yourself. Is it right? Maybe you are good enough. No, absolutely not. Any little positive change you can make in somebody else's life, it's a huge, huge victory.
I wanted to recognize openly that you mentioned your dad in this interview. And you public on LinkedIn, you recognize him and you mentioned how he was an inspiration for you in your life and he was a great leader.
Yes.
What are the three top qualities that you recognize in your dad that until now?
Well, again, and I can be biased, of course, because he was my father. But I think that the great skills is that he was very knowledgeable, and so definitely when it's according to the books, a good leader must be knowledgeable about what he or she is saying or doing. Number two, again, always very respectfully for somebody else, people. So I would call that technically, it's called empathy, this connection with other people. So putting yourself in somebody else's shoes. I think it's, again, extremely important. Those two, I think, and you see, this is also in business, and sorry, my professor, kind of when I teach strategies as well, is what Dr. Porter, Michael Porter said, it doesn't exist to be the best business, and so I will apply the same idea to be the best leader. You have to be unique. And so the question is, how are you unique as an organization or as an individual? We call the competitive advantage, So what are you good at? And remember, we cannot be good in everything, and that's why we need all of us, is it right, to make a community and make changes.
Yes.
So diversity
It is important.
Very, very important as a diversity, not as some negativity about it. We have to embrace the diversity because the diversity brings creativity and innovation. But it's again not a zero sum. So life is, like Michael Porter said, is not a zero sum where you have one winner and one loser. You can have a positive sum where the leader in this case and the follower, they can both have an important role into their relationship.
Yes.
Understanding what their unicity is. And so going back, I think that is what my father, did, and he taught me that it's not only about winning or losing, you see. And unfortunately, most of the people today is, okay, I have to win. Well, again, if you want to win and the other one has to lose, I think nobody would like to play that game.
It's true.
So you need to bring, okay, what are the things you can bring to the table? And again, I think in a positive way, how we can develop a relationship and make good things happen.
Oh, thank you so much for that sharing.
Thank you.
And it's really unique to recognize that, as your dad did, knowledge is important, empathy for others.
Yes.
And you need to be able to take the risk and be open to win and sometimes to lose, but you learn from that.
Absolutely.
And you embrace what you learn. And it's amazing how you can create with all diversity, and if you value that, and if you use that as your good points that make you strong and unique.
Yeah, and remember that, sometimes the language we use, the losing, okay? Losing is sometimes, most of the time, unfortunately, people see as a very negative thing. No, it's not, it doesn't have to be that way. Because again, as I said before, we have a good and bad, we have a winning and lose, so they are both part of the same story of forces, if you want, the regulated life. And so actually now more businesses are encouraging their employees to lose, in the sense to make a mistake, because the sooner you can make a mistake in an organization, the cheaper it is. Because if you have to kill that project because it's not good, okay, let's try to kill that project. And if you can't, then it's a good project. But if you kill it, that is everything that is happening right now. So companies are now, the top company around the world, rewarding their employees to fail. Because if they have to fail, it's better they fail sooner than later, because otherwise it costs a lot of money. And the more they try to fail and they cannot, means that this is a good project, this is a good things they're doing. You see? Encouraging people to fail. This is what the top companies today are doing. And I encourage people, if you have to fail, don't make a total failure, where you press the button where you destroy the universe, but making a small mistake, If you have to make a mistake and see that it's wrong, figure it out right away. It's better. Move on to something different.
Move on and do something different. Don't
Yes.
be afraid to try and find new ways that you can realize things in your life. Try, check for yourself, have that experience, and if it's not working, move
Go
on.
somewhere else. That's
Move
perfect.
on.
You didn't waste any time,
But
is it right?
don't
Maybe
lose your
little
time and your
time.
energy.
Yes.
And don't make your company to lose that time
Yeah,
and
of course,
energy.
you don't want to make it, you know. Yes.
I wanted to really be thankful for your time.
Thank you.
You organize your agenda, your visit agenda to be with us here in Divine Journey. And it's a pleasure all the time to share with you because you love to teach. And for me, like teaching about Spanish and my culture and how we can empower and help others around the world, that is part of my passion.
Yes, and I know people who knows you, you know, that they know, I mean, all of this, and they always talk very, very highly about what you're saying about yourself. So it's a great
Thank you so much.
confirmation from people.
Thank you so much for that words. And I wanted to let you know that our people there is inspired today. Let's be open to recognize that we can create that leadership in our communities. And we can empower, and if you feel that you need guidance, look for a good mentor. Look for that person that you can trust, and you have that empathy, and that inspire you to do the best for you and for others.
Yeah, and as you say, you will be surprised how many people will find themselves very happy, you know, to be a teacher in this mentor, you know. So don't be afraid to ask to a person you think is a role model. And if that person has the time and can, you know, that and does the chemistry, I think that's all. Don't be afraid to ask.
Great. So let's ask the people that we like and the people that we admire. We need your mentorship. We need your support, and be out there. Yeah, be out there and make that choice today.
Yes,
Make
you can
that
do it
change
right
today.
now,
Yeah.
in a minute from now.
Yes. Thank you so much
You're
for
very
with us.
welcome.
And I hope that you come back with a new topic that you can share with us and all the people around the world. Please do that.
Thank you. It will be a pleasure.
Dear friends, as usual, thank you for your time. Thank you for your love. We like you. Please continue with us. Share with the people that you love in your life and keep synchronized divine journey. Kisses
Thank
for
you.
you.